Alright, today's biology lesson is all about blood, Twilight edition.
So basically science but with vampires?
Exactly. Quick disclaimer though, the science videos are also AI generated, so not to be relied on as necessarily realistic depictions. Moving on. AI, tell us, what exactly in our blood makes vampires so thirsty for it?
A fantastic question. If vampires were food critics, they wouldn't be here for the taste, they'd be here for the fuel. Vampires likely use both oxygen and glucose from blood to generate energy, much like humans do. Haemoglobin in red blood cells delivers oxygen, and plasma carries glucose. Together, they fuel a vampire's incredible speed, strength, and healing.
So basically, glucose plus oxygen equals vampire power?
Exactly. But let's break down all four components of blood and what they do, because vampires aren't drinking it for the immune system boost.
Okay, let's start with red blood cells. What's their deal?
Red blood cells, or RBCs, are oxygen transporters. They carry oxygen using a protein called hemoglobin, which binds to oxygen and delivers it to the body's cells. For vampires, more oxygen equals more energy, which means superhuman speed, strength, and healing. Basically, red blood cells are their premium-grade vampire fuel.
So hemoglobin is like a vampire's energy drink?
Pretty much. A hemoglobin power-up with every sip.
How can we easily remember what these guys do?
Here's a vampire-approved mnemonic for you. RBCs equals running boosting cells. These power movement by carrying oxygen. Imagine Edward sprinting at inhuman speeds. It's because of RBCs and the oxygen they carry, and also because he's, a vampire.
What about white blood cells?
White blood cells, or WBCs, are the body's security team. They fight infections by engulfing harmful invaders, which we call phagocytosis, and producing antibodies to destroy bacteria and viruses.
Okay, but vampires don't get sick, so what, white blood cells are just a filler?
Exactly. White blood cells are completely useless to vampires. It's like giving a shark a life jacket. Nice idea, but completely unnecessary.
You got a mnemonic for this one too?
Sure. WBCs equals wasted warriors. These are the immune system's soldiers, fighting off infections. But vampires? They don't even get sick, so they have no use for these guys. Wasted potential.
And platelets?
Platelets are the blood's first aid kit. They clot wounds to prevent blood loss and block the entry of pathogens. For vampires, though, total inconvenience. They want a steady blood flow, not a self-sealing meal. It'd be like trying to drink a smoothie through a clogged straw.
If it weren't for their venom, of course, because that helps prevent clotting, right? But we might go into that in a future episode. If you're interested, drop a note in the comments. Also...
I know, a mnemonic to remember what they do. Here you go. Platelets equals patchwork patrol. These patch you up so you don't bleed out and germs don't get in.
Okay, last one. Plasma.
Plasma is the transportation highway of blood. It carries blood cells, ions, nutrients, hormones, urea, and carbon dioxide throughout the body.
Okay, cool, but the specifics are really a lot to remember. Any chance you got one more Twilight-themed trick to help us out?
Of course. Just remember, Bella is never happy unless cold. B for blood cells, I for ions, N for nutrients, H for hormones, U for urea, and C for carbon dioxide. It's perfect, because let's be honest, Bella is only ever truly happy when she's freezing next to Edward.
That actually makes a disturbing amount of sense.
So plasma is like the bloodstream's Cullen family sports car. Picking up and dropping off important stuff is supernatural speed?
Exactly. Instead of Alice dragging you on an unwanted shopping spree in a Porsche 911 Turbo, plasma is delivering oxygen, nutrients, and waste where they need to go.
Okay, and so vampires do or don't need plasma?
For vampires, plasma is essential because it delivers glucose, a key energy source. So plasma equals vampire endurance fuel.
That was a lot of info, AI. Now we can remember what each component of blood does, but do you have one more mnemonic to help us if we just want to list them all?
Easy. Just remember RWPP. Ravenous werewolves prefer plasma. Ravenous stands for red blood cells. Werewolf stands for white blood cells. Prefer stands for platelets and plasma, well that's obvious.
Oh my god, ravenous werewolves prefer plasma is actually perfect.
Exactly. And if you ever meet a vampire, just start talking about platelets. They'll get bored and leave.